Lao Tzu said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. From past few days, I have been working on preparing my first speech. I discussing with friends and watch other people giving speeches and try to come up with something interesting and meaningful for my speech. During this process, I went through many past events introspectively and to find out the events that I felt that have influenced me and brought me where I am today. Dear Toastmasters, respected guests, a very good evening. I am currently working as a sales executive with Trade Impacts Group of companies, and I have done my graduation from Women University, Dawar. Yeah. In studies, I was never a good student, and I was absolutely unexceptional also in sports and other activities. I actually never liked school, and I always wished to grow old soon only so I could just get rid of school like the other person was. The other speaker. My family lives in Dawar, and I was born in that city and lived there. And when I was in my third grade, my father got transferred, and our family moved with him to Swat Valley, and remained there till I was in my 8th grade before our family returned to Dawar. I think because I had this experience of growing up in these two very different, that is Saraiki and Pashto cultures, mindsets and languages, it helped me to become and remain open-minded and flexible in my beliefs and opinions. I like reading, and I got special interest in philosophy, science, and I believe psychology has a lot to offer. Now if you look closely, then you would find that all these areas of studies are closely related to self-knowledge. And now what makes self-knowledge most important is because we humans are the most complex and sophisticated machines in the known universe. And now we know that in order to use any machine, equipment, or any gadget, you have to have a basic understanding of it, like how it functions, its uses, its application, limitation, and so on, to use it to our benefit. Otherwise, if it doesn't know, it doesn't have the proper understanding of it, then one can harm oneself and others with it. Now, take the example of a knife. With it, one person can prepare a meal for one family, but if you give the same knife to a child, he can hurt himself and others with it. Yes, you can have the most advanced iPhone, but you won't be able to even do a simple task like making a call if you don't know how it works. In addition to knowing ourselves, it is really important to be able to communicate effectively. It is very obvious that the quality and the effectiveness of our lives is dependent upon our ability to communicate clearly and effectively. I think that being able to express oneself well makes one kind of a better person, and the lack of it leads to boredom, aggressiveness, and violence. During my reading, I often come across great insight that, if understood, will be of great value to anybody. And it gives me great joy when I develop an understanding myself and then share it with others for whom I care. Communication is power. In caveman time, it was your arm strength and your skills of fighting and hunting that got you respect, importance, and made you powerful. But nowadays, we are living in civilized societies and things have changed for the better. And now in our corporate and social jungle, if one has the ability to, if one can successfully influence and convince others, then one's chances of success are really higher in business, work, and relationships. I have many experiences and knowledge that I want to share with you, but in order to do that, I need to become a better communicator. I also want to learn from your experiences. I believe Toastmasters is a platform where we can learn from each other and grow together. I look forward to an amazing journey with all of you.